Hey you guys, Kristi Wells here for your WOD call for Friday, May 9th. And today I want to talk about your boss in Advocare and if you're keeping your boss happy. It's been said a lot of times in the direct sales industry that it's great because you're your own boss. And I want to change that a little bit today. For those that I've seen in Advocare who are extremely successful, they are not their own boss. Their purpose is their boss. So I want to introduce you to my boss. This is Piper. She's one of my bosses. As a family, we've decided that in 3 years we want to give my husband the opportunity to separate early from the Navy, to give him the option to come home to be a full-time stay-at-home dad. And we know that that is going to take a lot of work. So here's the deal, y'all. I cannot look at her each day and say, you know what, I'm sorry, but I did nothing to work towards our purpose today. Or I'm sorry, but you know what, it was a long day and I didn't feel like calling people at the end of the day to share Advocare with them. Or I'm sorry, but you know what, I know we want to bring your daddy home in 3 years, but it was just too uncomfortable to step outside my comfort zone and talk to that person that I know would be incredible for this, but they just intimidate the heck out of me. I can't do it. I cannot look at her and say those things and live with myself, quite honestly, because our purpose smacks me in the face every day that my kids don't see their daddy. So for those who have defined that purpose and they know what it is and they know what rips at their stomach and makes them drive towards more, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't have that purpose yet that has helped you figure out where you want to go in Advocare, then I would definitely encourage you to identify what that is, because that is going to be your driving force, and you've all heard it. Your purpose is your driving force in this business. So for those who have identified it and know what they want and they say, okay, here's our goal, here's what we're striving towards, then what? Do we put it all over Facebook and say, look out, y'all, I'm Advocare's next diamond? Do we get 100 pennies and throw them into a wishing well and say, oh, really, really, really want this? It's not enough. You have to have a plan. For a lot of us starting out, we may have this goal of what we want out of Advocare, and standing at the beginning, at the starting line of our journey, and looking up this insurmountable mountain that we have to climb is daunting. It is intimidating. And so what we have to do is we have to break it down. We have to break it down and make that mountain steps. That's the only way you can climb a mountain, is one step at a time. So we have to figure out what those steps are to get us to that summit. So what I want you guys to do is start doing goals. You're going to hear your leaders talk about this constantly. You have to set goals to figure out a plan. So what I would say is start at the base of the mountain. Start at pay period goals. How many people do you want to talk to and put through the success system? What do you want your PGV to look like? How many people do you want to get started on product? How many people do you want to help reach the next discount level? How many people do you want to get to 40%? How many people on your team can you help reach a rookie bonus? Those are what you need to use to quantify your pay period goals. Write those down. Put it in front of you. Know what you're aiming for. My dad always said, if you aim for nothing, you hit it every time. Figure out what you are aiming for and go for it. Don't just go, oh, well, these are my goals, but if I don't make it, it's okay. No, you guys, look at your purpose. Look at it and see if it is worth it to you to get up off of the couch, stop watching TV, and go after your purpose. So figure out what those goals are, set them in front of you, and go for them. You guys can do it. You guys are champions. You have champion leaders who want to pour into you and get people on three-way calls. Use them. So first of all, pay period goals. Second part of that mountain are success goal to success goal goals. You know, what pin level do you want to achieve? How many people on your team can you get to achieve that pin level? What do you want? Do you want national leadership team? What do you want your check to look like? start thinking about those goals, because again, once you have that, you can work backwards and say, okay, if this is my successful to successful goal, then what do my pay period goals need to be? The next step up are your year goals. Where do you want to be in a year? Do you want to be done with one of those part-time jobs? Do you want to be home with your babies? Do you want to be on the first vacation that your family's ever gone on without having to put it on a credit card? Do you want to be debt-free? Do you want to be doing whatever it is that inspires you, that makes you tick? Do you want that? Figure out what you want in a year, and then again, work backwards. What does your successful to successful goal need to be? What does your pay period goal need to be? And if you don't know where to start with this, go to your leaders. Again, they're amazing leaders and they want to help with this. But it all comes down to, why do we set goals? Because we've figured out what that top of that mountain is. We know what we want. We've looked at our purpose and said, you are worth it. Have you looked at your purpose and defined if it's worth it? You know, Kathy Ive has said a number of times, as parents, we're always willing to say, I will die for my child. Are we always willing to say, I'll change for my child? If your child is your purpose, are you willing to change for it? Are you willing to step outside of your comfort zone, to work harder, to work smarter? It's not about putting Facebook posts out. It's about doing the right steps. Take product, talk to people, and invite them to see more and plug them into your leaders. That is what every single one of us in this company are doing who are building a business, and you guys can do it. So use that process and apply it, again, to those pay period goals, successful to successful, and those year goals. And when you start doing that and you start taking one step at a time, all of a sudden you're going to look back and realize, hey, you know what, I'm a little further up this mountain than I thought I would be. And I can do this. And all of a sudden your belief level starts to rise. And you start moving a little faster. You start climbing a little faster. So guys, identify your goals. Identify your purpose. There's 2 basic steps in Advocare, and I promise you guys, if you do those 2 things and you apply the basic principles of Advocare, you can do this. You guys are absolute champions. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.